Team of the week, though, let's look at some of the contenders, because I do have ETSU as a contender, 2-0 this past week, top of the standings. You can't say that they're not an opportunity to be named Team of the Week. I would even look at Furman as a contender. Again, they went 1-1. I thought it was a big situation that they were able to go on the road, as you talked about, against UNCG and get a blowout win. Tom House goes off. The house was on fire there. Yes. He goes 7 of 10 from beyond the arc. Yes, no doubt. And especially after the tough loss against the Citadel, they're so depleted also. Yeah. So I would throw them as a contender here as Team of the Week. But I'm going with the Wofford Terriers, man. 6-2 now in the conference, 2-0, 14-7 overall. They've won 3 in a row, and they have been able. Now, I know it's been both home wins this past week, but still, I just think that how you're able to win in multiple ways for Wofford, it's showing the maturity of the team that you're not relying just on the three-point shot. You can go interior. You can have an opportunity of slowing down one of the best offenses in the Southern Conference, and that is Mercer. And so what Kevin Giltner's been able to do based on the talent that he has. And don't forget about a Chase Watley. I mean, he made some huge free throws in that Mercer game that helped them seal that win. And also, I think there's this clutch factor. They go on the 10-0 run against Samford, and that closes that game out. And then they're also able to hit, as I mentioned, some of those key free throws, and Kahmare Holmes hitting some big shots down the stretch. And also Cayden Vasko. I mean, you've got a guy who lead the nation in assist to turnover ratio. That is fantastic. That's a stabilizer just in itself. And then you've got Nils Machowski. I mean, he can light it up and from any place on the court at any moment. So I'm going with the Wofford Terriers this week.
Yeah, look, I mean, that's who I had as well. I mean, I'll just kind of throw in a couple things, and then just for purposes of maybe highlighting someone else, you know, I got a couple things on ETSU that I think are solid arguments. But to your point, I would vote Wofford as well here. Look, they lose 2 in a row to Mercer and Chattanooga last week, or a week and a half, I guess you can say, ago. And what do? They come back and get a monster win at Furman, and then take care of home court against Samford and Mercer, right? So you get a quick rematch against Mercer, and look, we got to split. Right. We got to split with Mercer. We know that they're most likely a top 4 team, so we got to make sure we split with them from a seeding perspective and get that one. Just a fantastic job, and to your point, getting really good balance, figuring out ways to win in different ways, which come March you're going to need to do. You're just going to have to figure out ways to grind out wins in different ways. So I would agree with you, Wofford for me, Team of the Week. But just to give a couple thoughts on ETSU, look, that game at Chattanooga, that's not an easy road game, right? And Chattanooga had come off, reeling off three in a row. They had looked like they were starting to play better, and credit to ETSU, does not play great offensively, does not shoot it particularly well, and finds a way to grind that one out. And then look, say what you want, it's a home game. That is one of the toughest places to play, in that being Freedom Hall, and say that it's the Citadel. But look, the Citadel was just coming off a massive comeback win, like we talked about, against Furman, and had won 3 out of 4, I believe, in the league. And you just absolutely go to work on the Citadel Bulldogs with a 30-point win. So I think for them, a little bit of kind of a statement week of getting a big one on the road at Chattanooga, finding a way to grind it out when you did not have your A stuff, and then coming back home and blasting the Citadel. So I agree with you. I think Wofford's the choice as well, but give some, obviously, as you did, you put them obviously, in running for that. But just to give a couple thoughts on ETSU, I think they made a really strong case as well for the week that they had.
Yeah, no question about it. And Wofford, I think they do a great job from a coaching perspective. They will throw in the 1-3-1 zone at times, and it seems to throw off the offensive rhythm of any team that they're facing. And that's indicative of, hey, I know they want to play man, but sometimes you got to mix things up. So that they do a great job with Kevin Giltner and the rest of the coaching staff there.